Hey guys! What's up? Alpha Lion Simba here, and after a long delay, welcome to part 11 of sentencing Disney villains for their crimes. As always, I am your judge, jury, and executioner. And let's give a warm welcome to our bailiff, prosecution lawyer, and counselor, Jiminy Cricket.
Thank you very much, Alpha Lion Simba. So, what are we doing this week?
Well, Jiminy, this week, the Disney Renaissance is drawing to a close because tonight we're covering the final 3 films from that era, and those are Mulan, Tarzan, and Dinosaur. So, with no further ado, court is now officially in session.
Our first film in this week's docket is Mulan. So, let's get down to business to sentence Shan Yu. Now, considering that Shan Yu is the leader of the Huns, that means he's going to have quite the criminal record. Yes, sir. Because firstly, when his army encounters the Imperial Scouts, right as he's sending them away, he has one of his soldiers kill one of the scouts with his bow and arrow. Not to mention, he killed over half the Chinese army, including Shang's father. So, that gives Shan Yu multiple counts of murder. And he's burnt down many villages throughout China, making him guilty of arson. Yup, and he's tried 3 times to kill Mulan and Shang, giving him 3 counts of attempted murder, and he took the emperor hostage, making him guilty of kidnapping. And so, I sentence Shan Yu to the death penalty. And at the time of which the movie takes place, such an execution would probably be carried out through a method known as Ling Chi. What exactly is Ling Chi? Well, you'd better figure it out for yourself. Okay, now let's grab a vine and swing into our next film, Tarzan. And our first villain from the film to stand trial for her crimes is Sabor, the leopard. Now, normally I would dismiss such a case as a predator acting upon natural instinct, but Sabor is no ordinary leopard. She is something of a monster because she was the one who killed Tarzan's parents, and if one was paying attention to the film, you'll notice that she did not eat them, which gets Sabor charged with murder. And very shortly after Kala found Tarzan as a baby, she tried to kill them both, and later she tried to kill Tarzan again when he was an adult, which makes her guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder. And so, again, I think it's fitting to sentence Sabor to the death penalty. And, like with Shere Khan, Sabor's executioner will be Jim Corbett, because he's dealt with man-eating leopards before. Up next is Clayton. Now, Clayton's main goal in the film is to capture the gorillas and sell them for profit. And considering that the western lowland gorilla is a critically endangered species, that makes Clayton guilty of poaching. And on the ship, he has Tarzan, Jane, and the professor imprisoned so that they can't interfere with his plans. That makes him guilty of kidnapping. Yup. And when Tarzan saved the gorillas, Clayton tried to kill Tarzan with both his rifle and his machete, making Clayton guilty of attempted murder. With all this in mind, I hereby sentence Clayton to 50 years in prison without parole. Yup, let's see how he likes being locked up in a cage. Now it's time to travel back in time millions and millions of years ago, because the last movie in this week's docket is Dinosaur. And so, Bruton shall stand trial now. Now, Bruton only has one charge in his docket, and that is aiding and abetting, given that he was Crone's right-hand dino. However, unlike Crone, even under Crone's servitude, Bruton never actually committed any legitimate crimes. Yup, and that little heart-to-heart chat that he had with Pleo seemed to have a big effect on him, since he went back to save Aladar from the Carnotaurs. Yup, which is why Bruton is pardoned. However, Crone will not be getting off the hook so easily. Now, since he was the leader of the dinosaur herd, that meant he was responsible for making sure that every dino in the herd was okay. But he didn't. Yup, he drove them on unmercifully through the desert, not caring if any of them died from dehydration or heat exhaustion, which slaps Crone a charge of negligence. And given that Baleen and Ema, who were elderly and struggled with keeping up, were among his subjects, and Ema came close to dying twice, that will slap Crone a charge of elder abuse. The only time that Crone came close to properly doing his job as leader was moving the herd when the Carnotaurs were coming. But even then, he ended up slapping himself a criminal charge. Yeah, because Aladar wanted to make sure that even the stragglers, such as Baleen and Ema, were able to keep up, but Crone knocked him down and threatened to kill him.
You ever interfere again, I'll kill you.
And so, that gets Crone charged with death threats. And after the original entrance to the nesting grounds was blocked off by a rock slide, instead of trying to find another way around, Crone tried to force the herd to climb up, which could have easily led to them falling to their deaths. And later, when the Carnotaur returned, Crone made himself look like easy prey by running up the cliff. So, that's 2 counts of reckless endangerment. And when Aladar came to help the herd, Crone tried to kill him to maintain leadership, getting him a charge of attempted murder. Yup, and so I think it's only fitting to sentence Crone to the death penalty, with the execution manner being a Carnotaur.
Well, that was it. Part 11 of sentencing Disney villains for their crimes. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I'd like to thank Jiminy for his help.
Oh, no problem, Alpha. I'll see you next week.
And stay tuned for next week, because we'll be entering the 2000s. But in the meantime, this session of court is now adjourned.